So speaking of medicine, we are going to go to our third topic. So these are going to be medical related questions. So the first question I have is, what types of medications have you used in your experience with HIV?
Well, I'd taken the hepatitis B vaccine back in the early 80s, and I had a reaction to my second shot. So I already had an infectious disease doctor. So when I found out that I was HIV positive and they were recommending AZT, he started me on that in 1987. So that was fortunate, a low dose, so I didn't have some of the side effects that other people had. But through the 90s, I did try like D4T, DDI, all the D drugs. I was in touch with people that were running protocols at the time. So I did try a few things like beta interferon, that was liquid and you would hold it in your mouth. I had a benefit from that, but it didn't benefit other patients. So they didn't follow through with making it a prescribed medicine. But that kind of boosted me up. So each time I did like an experimental drug, it helped boost me to a place that then I kind of worked back down, worked my T cells back down, and my viral load going back up. And I really didn't achieve viral suppression until about 2005 or six, when protease or integrase inhibitors came along. I was using the protease inhibitors, but they didn't do the trick. I still was having like a 5,000 viral load, 5,000 copy viral load. And it wasn't until after that then I went to undetectable. And then my T cells went from like 25 to 150 to 300. And now I'm up at like 625, 675, I think was my last test. So I'm now using Tivicay and Descovy. So which are three drugs. There's one pill that has two drugs in it. So the routine has gone from about a 36 pill a day routine to now 3 pills a day for my HIV. That's great.
Wow, that's crazy to see like how far, see how far we've come. You said 36 pills a day is what it used to be?
At least that. I know that's what I counted at one time. And after that, I even got another prescription for more. So I didn't count those yet in my memory. But it was at least 36 at one point. So it'd be like every couple of hours you're taking 4 pills here, then 1 pill, and 6 pills later. It's like it was really confusing.
Wow.
And I was really constantly checking my bottles to make sure I was dosing myself right. But
Right.
I also got in the habit of laying stuff out in little pill boxes. And as as I scold myself, I'm Gemini, so I could like scold myself. And I then would come up with a routine that would work for me so I'd stay compliant with my drugs.
Nice. Yeah. And I think like with such complicated regimens like that, I think that it is kind of easy to be non-compliant, like there's like so many different things to do. It's pretty easy to like forget. But yeah. And so like for this medication, how quickly does it usually take to kind of activate or just to kind of work?
I know that Descovy shows up in the tissue after about 2 hours. It shows up in the genital tissues of both men and women in about 2 hours. So I was really quite amazed when I heard that statistic from Gilead, who's a manufacturer. But as they also use it for PrEP, if someone has not been compliant or making all their doses, keeping up with the dosing, they're able to take it and it gets right into the system and does its job. For HIV patients, I've also seen that it doesn't build resistance. That if you do miss your doses, that this is one drug that doesn't build a resistance to that drug then by letting copies slip through that then become resistant to the drug.
Nice. And have you? This is just like a question, but like, have you ever delayed your treatment for any reason, or have you ever known anyone that's delayed their HIV treatment for any reason?
I haven't delayed intentionally my treatment recently, but maybe probably a year and a half ago, when I had not made my prescription order on time and I was waiting for the drugs to show up, then I delayed dosing. I tried to stretch out my dosing. And there is a, graph that shows, like, if you extend the hours so much, then it only has this impact. But I've kind of changed my approach to that. If I wasn't getting my drug or I didn't know it was coming, I've decided to keep up with my regular dosing up to that point, because there's been hardly any time that I've not had the drug here where it hasn't shown up finally. And even though I might have been down to my last pill or something. So I have changed my approach with that.
Sure. And so, do you think it? I'm not sure. I haven't really done much research on like other HIV survivors, but do you think that it's mostly kind of like your case, to where like they'll delay it if maybe they don't have access to the medication yet, or do you think there's maybe other reasons why people delay their treatment?
It could be because they're having accessing trouble, trouble with their pharmacy, or there are a lot of patients who kind of hit a wall, and or I shouldn't use the word patient. There are a lot of individuals, because there's a lot of people that are just out living regular lives, but they hit that wall where they have to take that pill again. And I've been aware of friends delaying taking their medication because they were either out in public, or it's just kind of like it's a reminder of their HIV and that they have to take that pill. And so that's one psychological barrier that I know HIV, people who are living with HIV face. And that's kind of, at least people in my age group, I think it's more of a leftover from the days where you had to take so many drugs. But now as we get older, I'm fortunate not to have a lot of comorbidities, but some people that do, then they're also faced again with the multiple handfuls of drugs, that if they have heart issues or high blood pressure and stuff like that. And if someone were to ask me, I would encourage them to stick with their dosing routine until that point that they actually ran out, and not to try and extend their drugs, and to find methods to fight through those barriers for themselves so that they don't avoid taking their dosing.
All right. So the next question is, has there ever been a time where your body became HIV drug resistant? I know that you mentioned that, you used to take 36 pills. Is that possible for your body to be immune to the medication, where it's able to kind of reduce the amount of medication that you're taking?
Yes, in the early 2000s, like 2002 to about 2004 or 5, my T cells really dropped and my viral load went up, but they weren't able to do some of the genotesting now against blood to see what drugs were effective. So there was one point where I was almost resistant, or I was not getting any effect from any of the drugs out there. And then that was the time where the integrase inhibitor came along, and there was a distinct change in my blood work at that time. It really did a lot. The combination of 3 particular drugs really did a lot to reduce that viral load. And once that virus is gone, then I really, even my brain kind of cleared up, but my body definitely felt like it was restoring, because I'd gone down to like 139 pounds, and I normally should be like 165 pounds. And so it was, that wasting effect was really evident.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, and I'm glad to hear that you know, you made this recovery from all that, and so so thank you for sharing that with us. And so, kind of going off a similar note, did you ever experience any types of side effects from any of these HIV medications you've been taking? Because I know you've taken a lot of different types.
Yeah, what I call the D drugs. Yeah, there was a lot of neuropathy associated with D4T or DDI, and I so I do have some residual neuropathy in my fingers and toes from that. Some of the other side effects I would get is that for a period of time, it was kind of like the medication was making me almost as sick as the HIV was. And there was definite problems keeping food down for a while. And so one of the side effects might be spontaneous vomiting, you know, and I call them my barfing years. That um, it was a distinct period of time with a certain set of drugs and my body that I just was not digesting, and that contributed to the wasting effect.
And then real quick, I know you mentioned neuropathy. And so for the people who may be watching this who don't know what neuropathy is, just to confirm, that's kind of like a numbness or like a pain, right, in your nerves. Am I correct on that?
It does go through different stages. In my feet particularly, the nerves would feel like they were um, exposed to excessive heat. So they would kind of feel like they're on fire. Um, and with my hands and fingers, it almost is like having a pair of rubber gloves on, or like surgical gloves, where it feels like there's a little bit of material between you and that nerve end.
All right, so this is the last question for medical related. So this question is, how would you compare medications from, I know you said the 80s as compared to now? Are there any, like, what are the pros? What are the cons? Is there a huge difference in those medications?
Really distinctly. It's like the AZT model, they're trying to kill it from the outside, like firepower or something. The way the drugs work now is that it actually gets into the HIV cell, and HIV is so unique that it gene splices itself into our cell structure, into our T cells, and um, and the medication now interrupts the replication process on a DNA level. And as the gene splicing happens, the helix of DNA stretches out and the gene splicing happens. And the medication keeps the helix from rewinding and being in shape to replicate, to, um, to keep on expanding. So it's a total different kind of concept. What I found amazing, I've been so fortunate to see the whole arc of HIV treatment, is how it has impacted other research, and for cancer research and other kind of immune system and immune triggered illnesses. They know so much more just because of what happened with HIV. And and I have to say that the activist community that really shook the cage of the FDA and the National Institute of Health, they did a lot to wake them up to what research needed to be done. And from that research, then all these other benefits came in ways of information, ways to treat other diseases. So there's a huge difference in the medications from the beginning to now.
Yeah, it's so great to see that, like, you know, you don't have to go through such rigorous like treatment regimens. Not as much anymore. Obviously, there still are regimens you have to follow, but luckily it's not as intense as it was back then. And so those are all our main questions we had today. Is there anything, any concluding thoughts you had that you'd like to share with us and the rest of the community?
No, I would just encourage people to actively, pointedly, even on a scheduled basis, stimulate themselves to really make that effort to be involved. That people are glad to see you. They want to welcome you. And especially now, it's like a reset button that we have a chance to go out and kind of reestablish friendships or make new friendships, because people are going to be anxious to know you, to get to know about you, and to um, make you a part of their life. That's what I would tell folks.
All right, yeah, and so thank you again, Chris, for taking the time out of your busy schedule, to come interview with us, come talk to us, and we really appreciate your collaboration with us so far on all of our projects, and just for helping spread the word and educating our community, because I think we need it.
Well, and you too, I just want to say thanks. I'm so glad that there are students that are looking at this. As young people, sometimes they think that's an old person's disease, that HIV or something. And I really appreciate you as advocates and also spreading the message as young people. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you again, Chris. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and stay safe, keep gardening, and I hope that you're able to stay connected with everyone.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Green thumb.
Thank you. Have a good one, Chris.